It's like no intro, no nothing. This is just clean in. Let's see if anyone shows up. Hey, yo! Hi! Hey! I apologize for the random video right now. The randomness. Maybe. We'll chat over here a little bit. You know what? Fine. Stop messing with me, Michaela. Stop it. Don't mess with it. Alright. Hey, everybody. How bad Disney didn't mess up. No. I think Disney did a fantastic job. It's everyone else who's doing a rather poor job at interpreting it. At least in my opinion. This is my opinion. It's gonna be a short stream, so don't expect it to go long. I have a lot of things that I gotta do behind the scenes, so it's a matter of this is just me needing to vent out my frustrations. This is me venting out my frustrations on the matter. And also making this is my way of trying to make a YouTube video with me talking about it, but talking to you guys about it. Because I think if I get more of an opinion from you guys rather than just me talking into a camera going, oh my god, then it'd be a little more fruitful to be able to have your opinion alongside my opinion. So yeah, and here's the thing, it's not about my issue is okay, half and half. Half of it is with Encanto, half of it is with everyone else. So that's my thing. So I apologize to anyone who's just kind of like, oh my god, is she about to shit on Encanto? Oh my god. Like, no. Like, I personally loved Encanto. I loved Encanto. I needed to talk about this because it's been bothering me for the last couple of days. It's been bothering me. But yeah, I'll just wait until everyone settles in. So we're just staying here in the train station for a bit. We're staying in the train station today. So yeah. What are we talking about? Encanto. Disney's new movie, Encanto. So what about the VAs of people who produce it? Oh no, they're fine. Though I have no issues with that. It's purely about the story. It's purely the story. It's purely the story of what I want to talk about with you guys. So allow me to preface this while people are still coming in. If you have not seen Encanto, I would highly suggest not listening to me. I would highly suggest like leaving the stream and going to watch it first. Because while Encanto has been out for a while, both in theaters and now on Disney Plus as of 2 days ago, it's one of those stories that not many people have seen. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of spoiler talk. There's gonna be a lot of all this stuff. So if it wasn't made obvious, please watch Encanto before watching this video. Simply on the basis of I will be spoiling a lot of things and doing a lot of my own dissections of the matter. What's wrong? There's nothing wrong with the movie. I promise there's only a couple things wrong. But there's a couple things wrong, but not everything is wrong. I promise it's not shitting on Encanto. I'm not shitting on Encanto. What is this stream? It's just me talking about my experience with it and also kind of me criticizing the view on it. Because a lot of people are misinterpreting characters when it's more, in my view of their opinion, of their critiques on it, self-projecting. So there's a lot of projecting that's going on in response to this video, and it's been bothering me to the point where I need to talk about it. Because it's like, as someone who's neurodivergent myself, who has CPTSD, who has all of these issues myself in dealing with trauma, dealing with relationship abuse, things like that, there's a lot of people things that are misinterpreting what's going on. And I think maybe this is just me, but I think it's a lot of just white people calling foul and everyone else kind of just agreeing because they just need that self-projecting acceptance. So it's like, for me, it's just kind of like, this is my video. This video is literally just me talking about like what is actually happening. Because I don't think people realize what is actually happening. They just want to see what they want to see and feel justified of their own projections. So it's like, how do I pronounce this in the least offensive way possible while also reaffirming that things that are happening are actually happening and things that are not happening are just self-projections getting affirmed. So it's like for affirmation bias. So here's the thing. So this is my last warning on the matter. So if you see anyone in chat being like, oh my god, you're spoiling Encanto, what the fuck? I haven't seen the movie. Stop. Watch the movie. Then watch this video or watch this stream. Because I will be posting this on YouTube as well. So it's one of those things. Please, this is spoiler territory. I'm literally going to talk about the entirety of Encanto and the entirety of my dissection on it and a lot of spoiler details. So please, watch Encanto first, then come back. I promise this will be here. So, I am going to 100% assume that everyone here has watched Encanto. So you know what the story is about. The story about Mirabelle having to deal with the pretty much the demolition internally of the casita and the projections of what happens when a family doesn't fucking communicate. So here's the thing. I love Encanto. I loved Encanto. The music was fantastic. The visuals were absolutely beautiful. The characters were all so fun, whether they were quote unquote problematic or not. It was just like, it was fantastic. It's a fantastic. It's not going. I don't think it's going to make movie of the year. Unfortunately, I think Coco does a little better job at telling a story in a more nuanced way. But Encanto is definitely something that a lot of people can relate to and all of that stuff. But my only issue is it didn't expand far enough. I don't think it really delved far enough into where we needed to go in order to show how actually fucked the Madrigal family is. And here's my one big thing that I will die on this hill. Every single Madrigal family member, minus 2 characters, minus two of the Madrigals, were at fault for the decimation of Casita. Minus 2 members, every single member of the Madrigals was part of the decimation of Casita. I'm sorry. It was not. It's all Abuelita. It's all Abuela's fault because Abuela is the head matriarch. Y'all realize that there's more than just Abuela, right? Like, all of the other characters were also problematic in their own way. Like, I'm so sick and tired of people saying, oh, it's all Abuela's fault, Abuela Slander, blah, blah, blah. Every single Madrigal family member added to the problem. Because here's the thing. Yes, it's purely a matriarchal family. That's why Abuela was the head. So let's go ahead and dissect her first. Let's go ahead and dissect Abuela first. Let me allow to preface this by saying, yes, Abuela was the peak of this. She is literally the pin of all these problems. You can source it back to her in a way. But let's not forget the shit that she went through. If we are to assume that the visual narrator of this movie is not unreliable, then we can pretty much assume the moment that Pedro was attacked by those banditos, it was either banditos or conquistadors, one of the two. The minute that he went up against them, she watched as he died. She was there when he was cut down. She witnessed the murder of her husband. Do you know how fucking traumatizing that is? But why doesn't she go to therapy? Blah, blah, blah. She doesn't have fucking time. You know, the minute that happened, 1 second she watched her husband get cut down. The second, all of a sudden this magical fucking candle appeared, made mountains, forced the conquistadors / banditos back, and all of a sudden she has a house. And then the next shot, we see her literally sitting by the bed, holding her triplets like, what the fuck just happened? What the hell just happened? So you could see the look on her face like, oh my god, I just witnessed the love of my life die in a brutal way, most likely by a machete. And it's like, and everyone expects her to be perfect afterwards. So guess what she does? She dons a black shawl, which is actually symbolic for mourning, and wears it the entire fucking time. She wears it the entire show. She wears black the entire show. And she is forced to be the matriarchal idol of this family and the village. Let's not forget that the village looks up to her too. She was literally leading the group with a candle. She was literally leading everyone with this magic. So she hasn't slept for fucking days. So let's put you in that shoes. If you watch the love of your life, husband, wife, whatever, you watch the love of your life get brutally slaughtered before your eyes without mercy, then all of a sudden, like the next second later, you are forced into a magical house where everyone's like, please guide us. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. What you gonna do? You're gonna fear for your fucking life because you don't know how long this is gonna last. You fear for your family because you don't know if those mountains are somehow gonna magically move away for more banditos and all that shit. You're suddenly gonna freak the fuck out, and you have to literally build up all of these walls to try and figure it out. Now, here's the thing. I am not excusing her behavior. This is not an excuse for what she has done. Yes, she 100% was hard on Mirabelle because she didn't have a gift. But mind you, this is the woman who has to watch over the village. In the literal beginning of the movie, we see Abuela singing about how we have to help the village because of the gift we have received, because we have all of this stuff, because we have all of these gifts, and we have the responsibility to take care of these people after we were literally ran out of our village by banditos. We have to help out, and that means everyone has to help out. Those who cannot help out, please step aside so we can figure this out and help us out. That's her mentality behind it. But no one but Mirabelle has questioned this. No one. Every single Madrigal member has literally been a yes man. Every single one. No one has questioned, hey, Abuela, don't you think that maybe we can slow down a bit? Hey, Abuela, I'm a little tired, Maybe we should just, take a break or something like that. Maybe, hey, Abuela, you're getting dark circles under your eyes. Maybe you can step back a little bit, eh? No one has fought back except for Mirabelle, on the basis that Mirabelle didn't have a gift. So Mirabelle was already put into a position where she felt like she was already helpless and useless. So, Abuela 100% is the pin of this issue. Abuela absolutely is the pin of a lot of these problems. But no one except Mirabelle thought to take out the pin. No one thought, hey, this is getting a little too much. One of the sisters could have been like, hey, I have 3 kids right now, and all of them seems to be doing really, really hard work. How about we all just kind of chill and relax a bit? We're living in a paradise. There's only minor problems, whatever. How about I just talk to my mama and maybe we can calm down a bit. Now, allow me to transfer this conversation from Abuela to literally everyone else. My biggest issue character is one that a lot of people love, but I fucking hate the detail that people miss. Dolores knew about Bruno. Dolores knew. She explicitly called it that she knew that Bruno was living in the house. And yet, here's the and yet. Hold your butts, for here's the yet. She holds the secret that Bruno was living in the house for how many years? But it takes literally 30 minutes for Dolores to spill what's going on with Mirabelle and the prophecy? Hold on. So you're saying, hold on, wait a minute, Dolores, wait a minute. You can keep your mouth fucking shut about Bruno for how long Antonio has been alive. Antonio is like the youngest one. For as long as Antonio has been alive, you've kept your mouth fucking shut about Bruno. But you can't keep your mouth shut about Mirabelle and the prophecy? What the fuck? Hold the fuck on. It's like, I don't know what Dolores' problem is, but it obviously has something to do with her. Either it's a disdain for Mirabelle not getting the gift, or the fact she just wants to cause chaos to cause chaos. And that within itself is just as problematic as Abuela thinking that everyone should be doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. So for how many fucking years Antonio has been alive, Dolores kept a secret, but she can't keep her fucking mouth shut when, like, the prophecy comes around. Because let's be quite frank here, no one was gonna talk about the prophecy at dinner. No one. Mirabelle wasn't gonna talk about it. Dad wasn't gonna fucking talk about it. It was literally Dolores that caused the issue by talking to Camilo, and then Camilo talking to his dad, and then the dad talking to the mom, and it spirals from Dolores not keeping her mouth fucking shut. Even though she can keep her mouth shut when it comes to Bruno. Okay, problem number one already established. Now, a lot of you are gonna fucking hate me right now. A lot of you are gonna have an issue with me right the fuck now, and here's the thing. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any complaints about me talking about this character until I'm done. You will wait until I am done before you consider tapping your little comments or all that stuff. Bruno is also problematic. Cause guess what? He already self-confessed that he left without a word. So here's the thing. We've already established, and Bruno already established 100% that Abuela came up to him and was like, hey, Mirabelle didn't get a gift. Can you look into that for us, please and thank you? And he does. He goes into his little tower and he does his whole magical ritual and he figures out the whole 100%. He figures out like, oh shit, Mirabelle has like a weird situation. I don't know how to deal with it. But guess what he does afterward? Guess what he does immediately after figuring out Mirabelle's prophecy? He leaves. That's it. He's gone. No words like, hey, Abuela, I did the thing that you asked me to do. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to tell you about the prophecy. I'm just going to leave. Okay, bye. He doesn't even do that. He does not even do that. He just straight up gone. And he doesn't even just leave. He just goes into the walls of the house. And everyone's just kind of like, oh my god, Bruno is so like ostracized. I mean, yeah, he is the pinnacle of don't shoot the messenger, but he didn't necessarily help his situation by leaving without a thought. It bugs me when everyone's just like, Abuela blamed him, like have Bruno blame Mirabelle and all that stuff, and the sisters hate him. What would you think if you went up to a family member being like, hey, can you help me out? And they just fucking yeeted. They just said, I'm out. They didn't even tell you. You asked them, hey, can you help me with this thing? It's kind of important. And they just fucking yeeted to the next state. Like, how would you feel? Why do you think Abuela said he abandoned the family? He literally left. He literally ditched. He literally went fucking bye, I'm out, without any so much of a word. And you're all supposed to be like, oh, but Bruno's so ostracized. Bro, Bruno fucking left without a word. That is the literal definition of abandonment. That's a literal definition of abandonment. I don't know what to tell you, but the definition of abandonment is to abandon or abscond away from a situation without a word, without warning. So it's like, no, he disappeared after Mirabelle's door disappeared. The night Mirabelle was supposed to get her door, and basically she didn't get the door. Abuela went up to Bruno and be like, hey, what's going on? Why did Mirabelle not get a door? Is everything gonna be alright with the family? He looked into it, and then he fucking yeeted. That's literally the epitome of abandonment. Why do you think Peppa had such animosity towards him after he left? Why do you think she was so insistent of, we don't talk about Bruno, we don't talk about Bruno, we don't talk about Bruno? Because the literal word of Bruno got her upset. Because in literally everyone's eyes, he just fucking yeeted. He just went, no, fuck this shit, I'm out. He actually abandoned the family. So yes, I know everyone's like, he didn't have to apologize. Yes, the fuck he did. Yes, he fucking did. He had to apologize because guess what? He left his family stumbling and fumbling under like, what the hell's going on? We asked for help. You could have just said, no, I'm not gonna do that. Or you could have stuck around and be like, I found nothing. I couldn't figure it out. Shrug. I don't know. No, he just fucking ditched. Fucking bye. Goodbye. So there's that issue that I have with Bruno. So now you can actually... But then Bruno technically got outside by not only his family, but the village. 100%. Yeah, Bruno thought he only had bad visions 100%. And that's completely valid to have that worry. It's like, everyone thinks bad about Bruno, blah, 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 blah. That doesn't mean you get to say, oh, by the way... that doesn't mean you get to leave without a trace. You could literally just go, hey, I don't think I can do this right now. I don't think I can. Or, hey, I didn't find nothing or anything. Or you could just say, hey... I'm not going to tell you I'm going to go. That would have been better than just fucking yeeting, which makes everything completely justified as to he abandoned the Madrigals. He abandoned the family. Yeah, sure, he was ostracized after the point, even more so because he left, but he didn't necessarily help things out by yeeting without a word. So it's like, he would literally deleted himself. Now, Pepe and Felix. Is it Felix or how she pronounces it? Pepe and that too. They're a sweet family and all that stuff. But you can tell that they were much more insistent on everything being perfect with the gifts, as Abuela was. And so it's just like, yeah, I had a bad vision because one of my family members better fucking ditch him without a second fucking yeet. And so it's just like, exactly, like if he had stuck around, yeah, going back to Bruno quick, if he had stuck around and showed both sides, might be a package, sorry, we have a doorbell that's really, really loud. But if he had just stuck around and shown there are two sides of the vision, or, you know, pulled one of his sisters into the vision like he did with Mirabelle, be like, hey, I can't figure out what's going on. I need a second pair of eyes. You know, another thing that would have been solved if he had stuck around instead of ran away. Things like that. It's just like, Bruno pretty much left Mirabelle in a situation where she was going to get blamed. If Bruno had stuck around and been like, hey, Julieta or Peppa, you come in and you help me out. I need a second pair of eyes to figure out this fortune thing. Because he already proves that it could be done with Mirabelle. He could have done it another way. But anyways, moving on. Peppa and Felix. You can tell that they had just as much strong beliefs in going into Antonio's gift and all of that. It's for your camera. But they had strong opinions to where, like, Peppa was freaking the fuck out about Antonio's gift and all that stuff. And while Felix didn't have any powers, he kind of fed into it. He was literally Peppa's hype man for a long while in that. So you can tell that both of them were very much on Abuela's side, where it's like they instantly don't talk about Bruno. Do not do it unless, like, Mirabelle comes in and it has to be said, like, but Felix is like, she has to know, so that way she knows why we do not talk about him. You have all of that stuff. And then we have, I already talked about Dolores. Camille and Antonio are the only ones who do not add to the problem. These two are those two are the only ones who do not add to the Madrigal problem. Camille, because I think he's trying to figure out himself, or they're trying to figure out themselves. And Antonio, because he's literally just getting his gift. And in fact, he tries to, like, help, like, he tries to rely on Mirabelle because he sympathizes with her and he wants her to have a door. And the fact that he's the closest to her. So they don't necessarily add into what's going on. In fact, like, Antonio even helps Mirabelle trying to figure this out. And then we have Julieta and her husband, the dad. I can't remember the dad's name because I'm a terrible human being. The parents are the exact reason why a lot of kids feel trauma. They are the 100% parents who are like, oh, it's okay that you didn't get straight A's like your sister. You're still special in your very own special way because we love you. Kids need that assurance and need to be shown how they are special truly in regards, in comparisons to siblings or cousins or all that shit. it's like the parents just feed into, they are literally just feed into the idea of nothing's wrong. You know, the thing that everyone else in the family does when they know something is wrong and that there's nothing wrong. No, there's nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong. You shouldn't feel bad that your sister can make flowers and that your other sister is strong as strong as Hulk, but you can't do jack shit. It's like Julieta even contradicts herself when it's like Mirabelle's hand gets injured and then she feeds her arepa con queso. And Julieta's just kind of like, you are just as special as everyone else here. And literally is like, you literally just healed my hand with arepa con queso. It's like, it's one of those things where the parents have good intentions, but they're not actually helping. Anyone who has felt that giftless hopelessness doesn't want to hear, oh, you're just as special. No! That is bullshit! You cannot lie to my face like that. You cannot lie to Mirabelle's face like that. Augustine Madrigal, he's like, yeah, it's like, literally, the parents don't even fight to have Mirabelle have a photo. They don't even remember to include their own fucking daughter in the photo. Like, everyone's like, gather around. The parents don't grab Mirabelle for the photo. So, it's not that they clearly intend all of this shit to happen, but they allow this shit to happen because they're so passive on it. And yeah, a lot of people pull the whole, but Dad defended Mirabelle at that one moment where Abuela was questioning the thing. Dad wasn't helping either. Dad didn't pull Mirabelle, but like, hey, we're gonna take a family picture for the Madrigal family because, you know, you're a Madrigal too. It wasn't until that moment where he was like, I'm defending my daughter. Why didn't you defend her when it came to the family photo, Dad? Why didn't you let her have an individual photo with Abuela at the other, like the other kids did? Why? Why now? Oh, it's when the family house starts cracking when you finally start defending your daughter? Is that it? Thanks, Dad. Yeah, absolutely. Mirabelle's 100% special. And we should absolutely beat it into their fucking skull that she is not special, even though she is special, but she's not special, but she is special, but she's not special, but she is special. And then, I don't need to talk about why Isabella's a problem. I don't. The movie already sets up as why Isabella was a problem. She already sets it up, and she already gets her own upcomings in the movie. So I don't need to talk about Isabella. I do not need to talk about Isabella. Also, Julie, thank you for the 405. Happy holidays. Thank you for happy holidays. But Luisa is the least bit of our problems here with the Madrigal family. She doesn't necessarily force a change. She doesn't necessarily do anything bad, but she doesn't vocalize her concerns. In her song, Under Surface Pressure, she already states that she has anxieties about the family. She's worried about the family. She has all of this stuff. But even so, she's not strong enough to be like, hey, hold up, something's going wrong, even though she has concerns and she knows something's going on. It's the ignorance, it's the silence from Luisa that makes her part of the problem. She doesn't do anything but go, yes, Abuela, okay, Abuela, coming, Abuela, one moment, Abuela. She does stop to, like, help Mirabelle and all that stuff, to help her sisters and help her cousins and all that stuff, 100%. But it's kind of like Luisa doesn't talk. Luisa doesn't help the situation. She is strong enough to get her voice to be heard. She is mentally strong enough for her voice to be heard, but emotionally she doesn't. She sits back and waits until shit hits the fan. And then when shit does hit the fan, she laments about it like she couldn't do anything. No one in this family talks. No one. It's like, and if they do talk, they don't talk correctly. So, my frustration with Encanto, even though I love Encanto, I love it. My biggest frustration with Encanto is the communication. It's not just Abuela's fault. So I do not want to see Abuela Slander here. Abuela Slander can walk the fuck out, because I'm gonna say this. If any y'all think Abuela's the sole villain of this movie, you need to stop self-diagnosing, and y'all need to stop projecting. Because I'ma just say this. Abuela ain't the only problem. I'm sorry. Abuela ain't the only problem. Abuela already has her own fucking issues. And even at the very fucking end, we see Abuela fucking realize that she is an issue. And she does apologize, regardless of what people refuse to see. I love how everyone's like, oh, Mirabelle and Bruno are the only ones who apologize. Y'all don't know what apologies are, do you? You really don't know what apologies are if you don't think Abuela apologized in her own way. Abuela had to come face to face with the fact that her strong-handedness was a problem. She had to come face to face with the fact that she fucked up. And she had to look Mirabelle in the eyes and realize that Mirabelle was right. And Mirabelle was the one to help lead the family back together. It's like, y'all don't know, y'all who don't think Abuela apologized don't even know what a fucking apology is to begin with. It's like, and that's my frustration going out of this movie, is that a lot of people who watch this on TikTok or on like Twitter or all that stuff were so insistent that Abuela was the problem. It's all Abuela's fault. Abuela would blame this. Abuela blamed that. Abuela. Bruno left without a fucking word. Bruno left without telling his sisters, his mother, his nieces and nephews anything. He abandoned the family. That's the definition of abandonment. Dolores is already hypocritical on the fact that she knew Bruno was in the house and yet can't hold her fucking mouth shut when it comes to Mirabelle's prophecy issue. Pepe and her husband were so strict, just like Abuela, even to the point of getting upset visually when Bruno was mentioned or if anything goes wrong with their children. Julieta and her husband were so ingrained on ensuring that Mirabelle wasn't a problem that they were doing the exact opposite of what they wanted to achieve. They were so insistent on trying to make Mirabelle feel like okay that they forgot that they also have gifts of their own. Even the father has a strength of his own. And they don't even help her when it comes to those big moments like taking a picture with Antonio. That, you know, that big picture where everyone was gathered as family? The parents didn't grab Mirabelle. So you can obviously tell that their comfort of Mirabelle is lip service at best. Isabella was already a problem because she didn't fight the fact that she had to be perfect. So she used all of her frustrations on Mirabelle because she did the one who didn't have a gift. And I'm willing to bet money that she also kind of tossed around Luisa as well, because Luisa is just the big, strong one of the family. She even insults Luisa when she doesn't have her strength. Like, she can't even lift she can't even lift a enchilada or tamale or something. She can't lift a thing. Yeah, she can't lift an empanada. She insults her own sister, so it's not like Mirabelle was the only one she insults. And then Luisa is so quiet of not speaking up, even though she physically and mentally had the strength to speak up and be like, hey, there's a big iceberg up ahead. Can we stop and turn and swerve to the side, please? So that's my issue with Encanto. It's not the movie itself. I wish the movie had more time to kind of delve into everything. I wish like the movie had more time to delve into like Camille's like worry about trying to figure themselves out. I'm gonna say themselves because I don't necessarily know if Camilo actually does refer to himself as he, him. But they're more so, Camilo is more so changing to whoever they feel like because that's kind of what they intend. I think Camilo's character is more of trying to interpret who they are as a person. Because like you can tell Camilo is a sweet guy. But he is kind of like the blunt millennials, like, oh, we don't have a house anymore. You see that? That's not a house. Hello. And then Antonio does support Mirabelle and tries to help out. But otherwise, literally everyone from Mirabelle up in age is like, Yeah, sure, there's nothing wrong here. Nothing's wrong here. Everything's fine. We're not gonna talk about communication. So, in my interpretation, the song We Don't Talk About Bruno should literally be entitled We Don't Talk About Problems. No, we don't talk about problems. It's like, please, if anyone in the family had just opened up and say, hey, can we all sit down and figure out what's going on for like half a minute? Because, Abuela, you're taking too much on yourself. I think it's time for you to kind of give the hat to like either Peppa or Julieta. Like, one of us needs to kind of like take over, and you need to just relax and like come to terms with the fact that you had to watch your fucking husband die and all that shit. Yeah, we kind of need you to like relax and have your retirement at this point. And then it's like the kids kind of feed onto it because they don't want to question authority, except when Mirabelle comes along, because Mirabelle doesn't have a gift. And so it's like, it has to be the giftless one who's be like, hey, there's a problem here, when any of them had the strength and the mental capacity to understand something was wrong. Yeah, and then the village is bad. The village itself relied on the Madrigals way too much. Do you understand? Like, everyone sees how they treat Luisa. It just takes 1 second. Hey, Luisa, my house is tilted. Thank you. Can you reroute the fucking river? Can you reroute the river? Can you move the church 5 inches to the left? It's like, oi. But that's what I love about this story. Honestly, just from my opinion with the story, that's why I love it. Because it does show families who don't communicate eventually realizing that they all fucked up and they all need to do better. They all need to do better. Every single Madrigal family member. And here I'm going to say it. Even Mirabelle needs to do better. Because guess what? Just because you do not have a gift does not mean you get to cause chaos in the middle of breakfast time. And while one family member is trying to talk to everyone else, you don't just go lean over and be like, hey, by the way, fuck what Abuela says. I just need you to talk to me for a little bit. You can wait until after breakfast to talk about that. You can fucking wait. That's why Abuela and Casita both. Casita is an entity by itself. Casita 100% obeyed Abuela. It's like, hey, Mirabelle, not now. Mirabelle, not now. Come on. It's like, even Mirabelle has points. All of them, like a lot of them are kids in a way. But Mirabelle still understands that, like, come on, Mirabelle, you want to fix things? Then fix it without causing so much shit. She had the right moment by keeping the prophecy to herself and trying to hide it away from everyone, 100%. But it's like, oh, there's a big problem and all that stuff. While Abuela's talking, I'm just gonna say fuck Abuela and try and talk to Luisa, even though this can wait 100% until after breakfast. So I'm gonna call attention to the stuff that I'm causing chaos. It's like, bruh, Mirabelle. And that's the only issue Mirabelle has with me. That's the only issue I see. It's the fact that you can tell that she's doing good. You can tell that she's trying her best and being like, hey, just trying to like trying to help out, and you know what, that's valid. But when you're trying to be like, I'm gonna save the miracle, Abuela was like, hey, I have something important to tell the family. No, I'm gonna save the miracle. Fuck you, Abuela. I'm gonna talk to Luisa on your time and make a big scene that causes you to call Casita to make sure I pay attention. It's like, I'm gonna save the miracle. That's my thing there. It's just like, please. But that's the only thing wrong with Mirabelle. Otherwise, Mirabelle was completely right. She tried her best and all that stuff. But the thing, she left, and that's fine. It is what it is. She left. And it made sense that Abuela had to be the one to find her. And of course, a lot of reactors I've saw, or a lot of people are just like, of course Abuela had to find her, because Abuela's gonna make her apologize and all that stuff. She's so toxic, Abuela Slander, blah, 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 blah. It's like, this is the part where Abuela realizes she fucked up, and Abuela apologizes. And here's, you want to hear a big secret? You want to hear a secret? Y'all want to hear a secret? Some of y'all who think that cutting toxic people out of your life, you want to hear a secret? Come here, come in closer. Come in closer. Come in closer. I have a big secret today. You want to hear it? Here it is. What it is. You take your time to forgive people. You don't just cut people out for no fucking reason. Everyone's like, oh, but Abuela's abuse was a big reason. You'll realize that when people fuck up, they do need time to fix themselves, right? It's not just, oh my god, I'm going to change my life forever. I'm going to turn vegan because I've killed so many cows and all that stuff. It's going to happen overnight. I'm going to change into a bright red. We're not Ebenezer Scrooge. No character and no human in this fucking world is Ebenezer Scrooge, where it takes one night of 3 hours talking to 3 different ghosts, and all of a sudden I'm gonna save fucking Christmas. No, that doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work like that.
But then it's okay to cut toxic people out of our lives.
Or here's another thing. Here's another thing. How about option B? You let them fix yourselves. You let them fix themselves. You let them have the time to fix themselves. You don't have to forgive them immediately. That's not the issue I'm trying to make here. No. You don't have to forgive Abuela immediately. Abuela did fucking fuck up by saying, well, like, oh my god, Mirabelle, just stop. You're doing all of this stuff, blah, 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 blah. Undercutting Mirabelle at every turn. Sure, whatever, 100%. You don't have to forgive her immediately. But that doesn't mean you can immediately cut her off before she's had a chance to realize her fuck up. The term forgiveness is earned, not forgiven, 100%. That is completely correct. But let's not take away her chance to earn forgiveness before we can even achieve the idea of not giving it. And that's what I hate about a lot of the Abuela slander, as well as all of the stuff that goes into this people reacting to Encanto. I saw on Twitter the other day someone posting like, it should be normalized to cut people off, cut toxic people out of your life. And while I half and half agree, if like you have a family member who physically abuses you, who S8 or sexually assaulted you and all that stuff, yeah, cut them off. There's no redemption from that one. Hey, James, thank you so much for the raid. But yeah, if someone abused you in that regard, absolutely cut them the fuck off. If they don't accept you for your race, sexuality, gender, whatever, cut them the fuck off. 100%. But if someone fucks up, realizes they fucked up. Also, James, happy belated birthday. If someone fucks up and realizes they fucked up and has that moment of, oh shit, I fucked up, why are we not giving them the chance to change? We're pretty much just saying, oh no, you already fucked up. You're gonna fuck up forever. You're gonna fuck up for the rest of your life. You're always gonna be a fuck up. Fuck you, fuck your life. I hope you didn't die. Because that's the mentality some of y'all fucking have. Some of y'all have that mentality. Like Twitter TXT, TikTok TXT. Some of you TikTok motherfuckers are just kind of like, I would have just shot Abuela and left her in the river to be with her husband and let her husband deal with her in heaven because blah, 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 she's so toxic, blah, 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 fuck you. Some of y'all better not fuck up in your lives. Some of y'all better not fuck up. Because here's the fucking problem that your mentality deals with. Abuela, removing the fact that she, 1, watched her husband get cut down and die right in front of her and her 3 fucking children. 2, had to be the matriarch not only to her family, but to the entire village. And 3, continually pray every single day that the casita that they lived in would not disappear and not leave her family homeless. Let's remove that from the picture. Let's go ahead and remove those little details from the picture. Let's go ahead and remove those. We're seriously going to gloss over the idea and the visual of Abuela sitting there, stunned, figuring out what's going on, not realizing that this all came down to her, and solidifying that, oh shit, I fucked up. Mirabelle was right. And then going up to Mirabelle, explaining her mental like rotation through this, and coming to the conclusion of, I fucked up, nothing is perfect, we need to start over. Are we going to gloss over that? Of course we are, because that's 100% toxic mentality. Why would I forgive anyone who's toxic, even though that they're going through their own traumas and all that stuff, and that they're going through their own issues, and, well, they should know better and all that stuff. They should be born. When they're babies, they should know right from wrong. They should know that not to hurt people when they're babies, 100%. Everyone has a right and wrong and all that stuff, so we should just cut them off and be toxic, blah, 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 blah. Fuck Abuela. I hope she gets shot and dies. Some of y'all love to, like, die on that hill of just cutting off toxic people without realizing they need to have that oh shit moment. If they don't have an oh shit moment, feel free to cut them off. Because if they don't have the oh shit moment, that means they don't fucking care. But when people have that oh shit moment, maybe take a step back and realize maybe they didn't intend jack shit. They didn't intend to hurt anyone. They did not intend for anything bad to happen. They thought they were doing the best they could because, 1, no one questioned them until now. 2, no one made them question their own position until that point. And when consequences come in, sometimes it takes a major consequence for some people to realize that they've done. So yeah, I am anti-Abuela Slander here. If you bring Abuela Slander into my life, I will say you need to stop self-diagnosing and stop projecting on fictional characters. All y'all just want to be angry. Because guess what? Because here's another thing. Guess what? Guess who are also the type of people that don't like to forgive other people and love to cut off people from the rest of their lives? You want to know who else does that shit? Dirty racists, dirty sexists, dirty homophobic people. They also do that shit. Adam the Underborn, thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. But yeah, toxic people also cut people off. So you want to be like that? You want to be like the hell? Oh, they're toxic, so we should just cut them off, and I hope they die and all that stuff. You want to turn that around? Because I can turn that around. I'm not going to, because I know some of you motherfuckers will take that out of context. But there are many, many toxic people who have the same mentality as you, and use that exact mentality to get their way. So maybe it's time we stop projecting problems onto fictional characters and realize that forgiveness needs to be a thing. And that's what I think Encanto comes down to, in my opinion. Encanto comes down to forgiveness. Yes, Bruno had to apologize. You know why? Because he left without saying a word. The whole Peppa's marriage, the wedding scene, he didn't realize how badly that was going to affect Peppa. And the fact that he ran away without explaining himself only solidified what Peppa thought. Everyone, like, that wedding was so controversial in that way because he did go up. He's like, oh, look, looks like there's gonna be some rain. And sure, everyone would think like, oh, he's just trying to be funny, blah, 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 blah. But when you are literally the guy that talks about prophecies in the future, maybe you should have a little disclaimer of, by the way, this isn't a prophecy, this is me trying to help. Okay, thanks, bye. But no, he didn't explain himself, and when it came down to where Abuela and the family needed him to explain what happened with Mirabelle, he just up and leaves, abandoning the family. That's abandonment. That is still abandonment. That is leaving without explaining, which is why he had to apologize at the end. He had to. Everyone 100% should apologize to him. I'm not leaving that up to. I'm not leaving that like open to like anything else. Everyone needs to apologize to him for what they did to him. But he had to apologize for 1, not explaining himself at the wedding, and 2, leaving without saying a word. And also Mirabelle, while I don't personally think she had to apologize, I think in her doing so, she recognizes that she didn't understand Abuela's situation. She didn't understand Abuela's position on the matter. When she heard about her grandfather dying because... If we take it to where the narrator is not unreliable, then we can interpret that Abuela didn't necessarily say, oh, by the way, my husband was cut down in the most brutal way with a machete in the middle of a river. Her pretty much saying her husband disappeared is the lighter term that has kids understanding, like, yeah, don't even worry about the details. I didn't watch my husband die a brutal death in front of me. No, it's fine. The fact that Mirabelle didn't necessarily know how much weight Abuela had on her is also something she needed to somewhat apologize for, even though I kind of think, like, you know, that's more of a both of you gotta apologize at the same time situation. It's like, yeah, and like, it's all about communication. Encanto, in my opinion, is all about communication. And quite frankly, a lot of families go through that shit. A lot of families have that Bruno we do not talk about. All of the families have that like higher power where we listen to one of our elders or even listen to one of our youngers without much questioning. It's like, imagine sharing it, right? Exactly. Imagine sharing your problems. Me share my problems? No, everything's fine. Everything's fine. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. No. Ren gives it 1,000 bits. No one seemed like they grew from this way to me until they lost their powers and they saw their home break. And so exactly. No one realized what was going on until they lost everything. No one did anything until they lost anything. They all took their powers for granted. And I say that not necessarily in a bad way. I say that necessarily they thought they were only by value of their gifts. So it's kind of like, really? It's like once they lost their powers, they couldn't do anything. And so it's just like they had to rely on what they were most. And they were back to the situation of being essentially homeless. Because it wasn't until the Madrigals got back together to try and fix the house where the village kind of got together and be like, we'll help you out. Even though the village could have kind of helped themselves out once in a blue moon. Just saying, they couldn't stop relying on Luisa. But yeah, so it's like, Encanto, the magic of bottling things up to the point shit hits the fan. In essence. It's like, they were too dependent on their gifts, and they were too silent about the shit that was going on. It's like, families need to talk to each other. Exactly, feels good, man. Exactly. If you have issues in your family, you need to speak about it. You need to communicate that. And that's what Encanto needs to be about. I don't think Encanto needs to be, oh, the main villain is Abuela because she's the matriarch, so everything falls on her and fuck her and all that stuff. I hope she dies. It should be, everyone had issues and everyone was doing things wrong. And the one to point this out is Mirabelle. That's why I love the visual of that prophecy, where you see Mirabelle in front of that house, and depending on how you look at the prophecy, it was either the house was gonna break, or the house was gonna get back together. Mirabelle was going to be the one to take the pin out of this web of miscommunication. She was the one who was pretty much like, this is wrong. This is wrong. The house is breaking apart and no one's listening. No one's talking about it. And so she was the one who was going to be the fate of the casita. And so that's my only issue with it, is that a lot of people just interpret it as, oh, there needs to be a villain and so we need to cut her off and slander her all over the social media because fuck her. It's like, no. You're projecting the fact that you probably don't talk to your fucking family and you refuse to talk to your family even though they have their own reasons for shit. And maybe you should let them have that oh shit moment. Even if that oh shit moment means cutting them off and going no contact. If that's what it takes for someone to go, oh shit, they fucked up, then that's what it takes. But you do not pull forgiveness away before they can have that oh shit moment. Unless they hurt you in such a way where it's detrimental to your life. So yeah. Yeah, like she didn't have time to mourn. She had kids in the village. She was going to, like it doesn't 100%. It doesn't excuse what she did. I'm never going to say that. Abuela was 100% wrong. But Abuela had that oh shit moment the minute things went out of hand. The minute, because at this point, all of her actions were deemed for protecting her family. She was just trying to protect her family, and that's the way she knew how, and no one questioned her until Mirabelle, which is why Mirabelle was the pinnacle of that prophecy. So it's like, Abuela had to have that oh shit moment. And when she had that oh shit moment at the very end, she realized that she was the problem. She realized that she was the issue. And I know people are kind of like, sorry, I held on too tightly is so insincere as an apology. No, that's genuinely, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was going to be that toxic. I didn't know it was going to be, that's not trying to self-pride herself. Saying that I'm sorry I love too much is not meant to be a self-indulgent phrase. That phrase is holy sh- I didn't know that was going to be a toxic action. It wasn't it wasn't meant to be a toxic action. I thought it was the right thing. We're just so built in a society that anything except cutting off your fingers in apology is considered toxic. We live in a society of Twitter and post-Tumblr and TikTok where if you fuck up and you don't cut your fingers off and bleed almost to death, you might as well just die. Because no one's gonna forgive that. We're so engrossed in a society that wants to put blame on people and just cut them off and let them die horrendous deaths, rather than assume that maybe people can be better than who they used to be if we allow them the chance to give them an oh shit moment. We live in a base society, I guess, yeah. But it's just like that's my frustration, is that the generation that watched this movie is the generation that would rather kill Abuela without letting her change instead of trying to fix the problem. Joy prevents that, yeah. One gift overshined the others in a way within the family versus the village. For example, Luisa's gifts are more useful in the village because she can do lifting. Yeah, perfect like a family. It's so pretty. Don't worry about a thing. Thank you so much for 1,000 bits. Like, also, this thing in the movie that some powers seem one good way, one way or bad. Exactly. The village had its own problems by trying to view powers as good or evil. They all saw Bruno as evil because they thought his prophecies were literally death sentences. When really, it was just him seeing what could potentially be. It even comes to the point where Mirabelle's future is changeable. We don't know which way that dice is gonna fall. So yeah. Oh, I'm so glad I got that off my chest. But I'm pretty sure a lot of the YouTube comments are gonna be like,
well, toxic people need to be cut out regardless because they're abusive and shit.
And like, yeah, if they continue to be abusive, abso-fucking-lutely. If people continue to be abusive and harm you and hurt you, there is no reason for you to keep them around. Cut them off, 100%. But if someone fucks up, realizes they fucked up, and tries to change for the better, even slowly, even if they slowly try to change, that's still them attempting to be better. That's still them trying. If a dog does something wrong, do you kill them? If a dog accidentally, breaks part of the furniture, do you kill them? When they don't even realize that that's wrong until that very moment? Sometimes it just takes a lesson, and it takes slow lessons for people to realize that they're wrong. And it takes time for them to fix their shit so the dog doesn't hurt the furniture anymore. And yeah, if you don't forgive someone for the abuses they've done to you, even if they've changed for the better, then that's fine. That's still you self-caring, and you are very important. But that doesn't mean that you should judge someone for the rest of their life if they have changed. If they have changed, just don't associate with them anymore. To continuously slander someone after they've changed is, quite frankly, toxic within itself. You're only fed by the pettiness of what has been done to you rather than you moving on when they have themselves have changed. So that's on you. Do you wish to carry that weight for the rest of your life when someone else who has done harm is trying to fix themselves and never harm someone again? That's on you. And you projecting on Abuela is not necessarily helpful, nor is it healthy. So yeah. All in all, Encanto is great. I love Encanto. But it's to the person that watches it, that interprets the story. And too many people decided to interpret the story as Abuela is toxic, we should cut her off. Instead of letting her have that moment to realize that she messed up and that she did things incorrectly because no one told her otherwise. And then her having that moment of, I need to start changing. For us, we see the start of the change. We don't see her change yet. We do not see her change yet. We see her begin the change. We don't have to forgive her at the end of the movie. But eventually she will be forgivable, should she maintain the change. Yeah. Do you see a fellow voice actor? Hello, yes indeed. Yeah. She was a young adult when she had a family of triplets. Like, come on. She literally carried those triplets across a river and watched her husband go up to the banditos and then get slaughtered right in front of her. You all saw how visceral of a reaction she had when the reaction was so visceral. The second after it happened, that miracle occurred. Yeah. Yeah, right. The odds of having triplets. It's ridiculous. I would love Encanto to be a series. I would absolutely love Encanto to be a series. So one, we can explore all of the characters changing to better communicate with each other. And also so too, Camilo can have his story. Because I'm sorry, Camilo was kind of cut off way too much. We needed to see more Camilo. But yeah. The movie had a wonderful message. The message was, we need to talk to each other. We need to be open and talk to each other and not put each other down. Isabella! Sorry. We need to stop and not put each other down and not, like, assume things are better. Not assume things are good. We need to communicate. And we need to be told. We need to be actually told when things are going wrong. And not just, hey, you're being too hard on Mirabelle. You're being too hard on her. Okay, let's take a picture without our daughter. No. We need to sit down, recognize what the problem is, and then discuss it like adults. Discuss it to where we can actually function as a family. Because I will bet money. I will bet so much money on the idea that if that family had just sat down and had a serious conversation where everyone's anxieties and nerves were listened to, and I mean listened to, not heard, listened to, the house would have never been in danger. The house would have never been an issue. Imagine letting Isabella talk about her issues, about being perfect. Imagine such. Imagine her releasing that, I don't want to marry that guy. I just want to I want to feel the things I want to feel. I don't want to be seen as this perfect prima donna. Have Luisa come in talking about how she always has to bear everyone's problems. She has to bear and be the solver of everyone's issues. Let her have a break. Then we see at the end she finally gets a vacation. She gets to sit down in a hammock and relax. That's what she needed. Imagine. Then we could also have Camille with his own insecurities, their own insecurities, things like that. Imagine if everyone sat down. Sure, Abuela could fight back because, of course, you need to have. She doesn't have that oh shit moment at that moment, because that oh shit moment for her is when the actual house collapsed. But everyone's talking to her, and everyone making her realize through speech, like, this is what's going on. This is what's going on, Abuela. This is what's happening. We have a house now. We have a village we can take care of. It's okay to relax. It's okay. As long as we all work together and everyone work together, then we can figure things out. At the very end, even Mirabelle says there is no problem that we cannot fix together. Yeah. Can we not agree that the villages need to have the villages just need to do better in general instead of Did you see how big the line was for Julieta in terms of the injuries? How many people allow themselves to get injured to the point of broken bones, bruised eyes, things of all that nature, and they all just like, oh, Julieta's gonna come in and heal me. It's fine. Instead of, maybe I should wrap my arm in a splint and not leave it broken like that. Or maybe I should put an ice pack on my eye. Or the dad, maybe I shouldn't chop down trees by beehives. But I mean, arepa con queso. Arepa con queso is good. 100% without a doubt. But at the same time, the village was a little too reliant on the magic to the point where they were trying to knock in and be like, everyone's worried about the magic. Everyone's concerned about the magic. Are we gonna lose our magic? Like, come on. Like, right when it starts charging, exactly. Have you ever heard of Who Took My Cheese, by the way? No, I have not. But anyways, okay. I need to go back to cleaning because the main reason this stream is short is because I have to clean my house. Because my family tradition is that we actually spick and span, like, uber clean the houses, so that way we start the new year fresh, we start the new year clean and organized. And in terms of what song resonated with me the most, Surface Pressure. This is not a slander on my parents. My parents were probably the best parents I ever had. They're the only parents I ever had. In my opinion, they're the best parents I've seen be parents. My parents taught me how to be open-minded. My parents taught me how to be kind, at the same time firm. I can blame both my mom and dad for being the reason why there are some people who are scared of me. Because I have the resolve that they had in the army days. But there still was that pressure in familial terms, in terms of my extended family and in my immediate family, where I was held to a lot of expectation. I was held to a higher regard in terms of just being able to handle things that the family can't handle. All of the societal pressures of being the first to be able to go to college, the first to be able to get the degree, the first to be able to go beyond just community theater. Community college in that regard. Sorry, not community theater. I never got away from that. There was a lot of, like, Michaela's the one who got the straight A's in class. Why is she failing now? The expectations, not even of just family members, but also of my faculties in terms of school. All of my teachers expecting me to be perfect, expecting me to be able to have all of these pressures at the same time, to balance my work as well as my health, as well as my life, to be able to be open and helping other people, to be able to carry the weight of other people. I was also a caretaker. Like, I took care of children. Like, I was an assistant teacher at one point. Like, there was a lot of things, and a lot of the lyrics, give it to your sister's older, see if she can hang on a little longer. Yeah, it resonated way too hard with me. And I knew I wasn't perfect. That's why Isabella's song was not the one that resonated with me the most. It wasn't a matter of me being perfect. I didn't have to be perfect. I just had to be strong. Like, I just had to be strong enough to be able to carry the weight of what I was doing. So yeah, that's why that song is the closest to me. Could you look for it? I did write down the gist, but I didn't want to repeat it since it's both paragraphs. I'll see if I can. I just have, there's a lot of time right now that I'm doing to just clean the house and make sure it's all spick and span for everything. Yeah. How come no one else was the first generation of magic and they did not have Abuela? It's because they thought magic is magic. A lot of people, when they see magic, they just see, oh, it's a miracle. It's gonna work its own magic, and we're gonna all benefit from it. And Abuela never reached out for help. Abuela was the one to do the helping. She was never one to reach out for help. Because the last time she reached out, her husband was cut down. Remember, visually, the last time she did reach out was the time that her husband was cut down. Why would anyone reach out again in that regard? Abuela never reached out after until Mirabelle pretty much pulled that pin. Alright, I gotta get going. I've been here way too long. Oh my god. But yeah, oh yeah, by the way, this video is going up on YouTube, and I'm gonna see if the YouTube crowd actually agrees with us, or if I'm about to get cancel cultured. But anyways, I'm gonna see if I can try and start scheduling more streams for you guys soon. Because I do miss you guys. I do want to stream more South Park, more Lollipop Chainsaw, and eventually Undertale with Brian. But yeah, so I can't wait to see you guys again. And if there's more movies that have more rants, I may do more rant videos and more rant streams, because it's like, yeah, maybe, possibly, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm gonna get going. Thanks everyone for coming and listening to me talk. Like, it's weird, but I greatly value the fact that you're all here, and the fact that I'm not crazy. And thank you, William, for the 2,000 bits. You are way too sweet. Thank you so much. All right, you all self-care and have a good holiday, okay? Make sure you eat that yummy, delicious leftovers, or eat anything that's good, make you feel good. All right, love you all.